All right, guys, what's happening? Robert here, Blazing Press, BP News. How's it going? It is late. I am so sorry. I had this thing set for 6, at least West Coast time, and I did not remember I did that. I don't know what happened. I was doing a bunch of new things on YouTube because they've got some other things like collabs and things. I'm messing with collaboration and so I was doing stuff and I was setting things up and I was planning something and then I just totally forgot because I got caught up doing something and I totally forgot. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I set a stream and I forgot about it. So I'm sorry. But somebody said, yeah, he probably meant 8 o'clock his time. So yeah, that's what I meant. Actually, that wasn't what I meant. I am so sorry. So what is it? 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock on the East Coast. We try to get these things out early so that we don't miss the people on the East Coast, especially those that are early to bed, early to rise people. Because, you know, those are the ones that are healthy, wealthy, and wise. We don't want to miss those people. But hey, what's going on? CSC drivers, Sandy Brad, Mr. Doc Baller. See, and another thing that I'm really caught up with right now is our area is very high up in the, snow zone, the very top, tippy top, where it's like tundra and the tundra of North America. But we are preparing for winter, so it's about to go snow on us. So we're like running around trying to get everything done that we got to get done, last minute stuff. Locking everything in, making sure everything's winterized, and that's just the way it goes when you're up here in the Great White North. So hey, Mary, what's going on? Freedom Deep, Carrie Miller, what's happening? Cody Grekia. And by the way, I want to say thank you to David Craig. Thank you very much. And David says, if we ask Jesus to forgive us of our sins and ask him to come into our hearts and to fill us with his spirit, our home is not here, but is in heaven. God bless Brother Robert and his family and all the brothers and sisters here in the fellowship and those who are at the broadcast. Amen. We have a fellowship and a gathering that meets very regularly. David, you're a part of that. And then this here as well is our news segment where we get out and get the information out there. And sometimes we get into this part of it too, because it's a very important part of what this channel is really all about. So we don't ever forget. We always make sure that's the center of everything that we do. So biblically speaking, we are looking at the world from that point of view. And it's the only view that, in my mind, even makes any sense. Even from a scientific, quote unquote, scientific standpoint, it really is esoteric. When you really get into the science of what it means to empirically understand something that's mechanical and or mathematic, it really does go back to God. If you really, really do the deep dive on, quantum physics, or, even look at things like CERN, that's supposedly like a project that is trying to find the God particle. What are they doing there? They're tapping into other dimensions, So, when you really talk about science, is it really science? Is it physics? Is it really physics? Or is it metaphysics? Right? It's probably more metaphysics than anything. But we're talking about the ghost in the machine. This world is set up like a clock. I've always heard it said, if you were just walking on the beach and all of a sudden out of the ocean comes this rolling up on the surf, a beautiful Rolex watch. It just rolls right up. Would you have thought that somehow evolved over eons of time and it just so happened that you just happened to find it right there on the beach? No. That reveals that there was someone that made that watch, that understood how to make watches, because obviously a Rolex is a great watch. And it didn't just, crawl up onto the beach, onto the shore from primordial ooze. It didn't just fall together randomly and become this perfect timepiece that tells time, with Swiss, all the Swiss movements that makes great watches. So anyways, I just like to say that because the world is set up like that. It's very much structured and it has organization, and there's patterns and there's mathematics, everything that makes the universe that we live in amazing that we're just still not even scratching the surface scientifically to figure out. You have to go back to the biblical account of what God said it is. So what it is and where it came from. So we do look at the world from that point of view, and even the news as it unfolds. We look at the news and we try to understand, why is this happening? Is there something the Bible speaks about that we may in fact be witnessing as all this technology is being rolled out? I mean, like no other time in history can we say that this type of technology has the exponential increase in knowledge and in technology has never been the way it is now. I mean, even in the last 2 or 3 years, I think these advances have outshined any other advance in our recorded history as a human species. We can go back thousands of years. I mean, even going back to the time when they said they found out about fire, they invented fire, or they invented the wheel, or gunpowder. These are big milestones. Or the Wright brothers, flying an airplane. Like this is a big milestone. The car, the combustible engine. Like wow, amazing industrial revolution. But now where are we at? This is so far surpassing anything that has ever gone before. And it's only compounding. The information and technologies now are compounding on top of itself. And it's just, from here on out, guys, this is biblical end time revelation, mark of the beast. Image now is speaking. The image speaks now. Just like it said, it would all of a sudden begin to speak. And then it would actually coerce people, causing them to take on some kind of digital ID, digital format in order to be able to function in society. You will have to follow these digital markers and rules and everything submitting yourself to in order to be tracked, traced, tagged, and bagged, ultimately, because that's what they're going to do. If you're not in it, you're going to be bagged and a body bag, because it says they're going to kill you if you don't go along with it. Now, when I look at what Trump is doing, and I say Trump or Horn, we could call him the Horn. We can call him the Trump because he's a little Trump. He's a little Horn. What is he doing? Everything that I see him doing, it's opposite of what he says. He makes people feel great, talking about hope, talking about peace, talking about roaring economy, talking about a hot, hot, hot country. We're a hot country now. We're hot, hot. Now we're hot because we're getting closer to hell is what it is. But I'm telling you, all the promises he makes, he doesn't follow through. I'm sorry, MAGA people out there that are wanting to believe. I know you want to believe really bad. And I know there's a lot of Christians out there that went along with this because their prophets on YouTube told them that he was a good guy, that he was God's man. But just look at the evidence. Look at the evidence. We're going to be in a famine here real soon because of what's going on. And I'm talking about the farmers. They're not being supported. Trump told him he was going to give them money 2 months ago because he knows that the tariffs are destroying their business model. And these are farmers that have been in business for a long time, in generations, have been passed on their farms. So once farms are gone, that's it. They become corporate and they become Bill Gates. This is what they did in California, San Joaquin Valley. I used to live in that area. Okay, what'd they do? They started making up excuses and lies and reasons for why they want to shut off the water to the farmers coming out of the mountains. It's all aqueducts, right? All into the valley. That used to be a big desert, and it became a fertile area, the breadbasket of the world, growing all the food that the whole world was eating from, right? The breadbasket of the world. And what they do, they started shutting off the water. Why? Because of a little frog. Oh, this frog is endangered. Oh, no, this little shad, this little fish is in danger now. And they just kept making it over the last 30 years. This has been going on. They called it the water wars. And they were doing this in order to choke out the small farmers, and then the small farmers' plants and their crops and their trees would die. You know how long it takes to grow a tree? Some of these trees take 10, 15, 20 years to get it to the point where they're bearing a huge amount of fruit. Whether it's the nut trees or the olive trees or the citrus trees, all this stuff is going on in the San Joaquin. And they cut the farmers down. So you had farmers that had generation after 2 or 3 generations. They had to sell out to the corporate entities, and they bought up the properties. And so they're continually doing this. There was this rinse, wash, repeat, rinse, wash, repeat. First it was the shad, then it was a little fish, a little frog, and then it was this, and it was that. They make excuses. Well, this little fish will kill the orcas up in Antarctica because, you know, this fish feeds this fish, which feeds, you know, the salmon, and the salmon go up, and then they eat the salmon, and then ultimately orcas are going to die if we don't stop the water flowing to the farmers, right? That was the excuse. So here's what Trump's doing now. Well, he promises, well, we're going to get you money. Don't worry. Farmers, you're okay. You just keep on going. You know, you are the heart of our country. You are patriots. I will support you. I will send you money. Has he sent the money yet? No. What's he going to do? Blame the government shutdown? Is that what he's going to do? He could have got the money before the government shut down, but did he do it? No. He promised them two months or more ago, right? And nothing. And what happens now? He gets money and he sends a whole huge amount of money, aid package, to the farmers in Argentina. I think it was like $40 billion. What was it? Couldn't he have bailed out our farmers first? Why would he give the money to these foreign countries? What's going on there? It don't make any sense. It don't make no sense. So let's get into the news. So I put a big a stove in this room here, and I told you I got a little studio, and it's not that big. It's probably like about a 20 by 20 room with a kitchen and it's a little small little offshoot house, little granny house. And I put a big old stove in here, which I probably shouldn't have done. And it's not big, but it's bigger than this room probably needs. And I'm just like, I have to keep the door open because it's so hot in here. It's like I just riled it up and put some wood in it for the first time to test it out. Well, we get down into the, 0, -20. We've had -40 wind chill last year. I think it was down to -40. So it gets pretty cold, especially when it's like windy. And we can't afford to have any electricity go out, so we have everything backed up. We have the ability, if electricity goes out, we can still be self-sustaining here. We can still get along and be comfortable and know what to do. I just pray all of you out there understand that what you just saw happen today in the cyber realm and how it affected all businesses because of Amazon's shutdown. Did you see that? Amazon went down, right? And it affects everything because it's Amazon Web Services. And all these businesses and companies, corporations, they are using Amazon Web Services. So when Amazon Web Service goes down, everything shuts off. So there was a huge outage all across America today and the world. It was global. And so what happens when they start attacking our critical infrastructure, that is our digital communications, whether it's our internet or our electrical grid or our, water supply or our shipping and our oil. There's a lot of things they could do. Believe me, there is a lot of things that could affect everything all at once because we're at war. America, you need to realize we are now at war. Does that make sense to you that we are at war? And are we at war with Russia? Well, this is a peace part of it. They're trying to make another agreement, I guess, supposedly. Putin and Trump. Is that what I heard today? They're supposed to be out getting together again, supposedly giving a lot of extra false hope. First Trump, like a week ago, was threatening. I mean, literally, you can't make this up. Trump just sounds like a complete lunatic half the time, saying he's going to bomb Moscow. He's going to give the tomahawks to Zelensky so that he can bomb deep inside, and he doesn't care because Putin is doing all these crazy things, and this is what you get for not making a deal, and we're just going to sick the dogs on you. That's just what happened. Sorry, Putin. We're sending over troops into Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, what happens? Well, then China starts playing hardball with the U.S., starts withholding all these essential things that we need in order to even keep our economy rolling, and whatever it is that we do, because there's rare earth minerals that we're dependent on, not to mention a whole bunch of other things. So the allies of Russia start weighing in, and then Trump's like backing off because now he's being threatened by Putin himself right after Putin went to Cuba and had a little powwow with the Cuban government right off our shores. And then he left, and then what happens? There comes out this threat, which one of our senators had spoken about on an X post, one of the Twitter posts, and I forget which senator. He's formerly a Cuban, so he's a senator and he's a Cuban. He used to be living in Cuba, and so he makes this post about how he's been told, and I believe he had good backed up information on this. It was legit. This wasn't just made up. He said that Putin threatened to bomb Mar-a-Lago with Trump, where Trump lives, because he's right there. He's matching the rhetoric. He's upping the ante. This is what Putin and Xi Jinping are doing. They're upping the ante, and they're meeting. They're not only calling us. If you know anything about poker, you don't just call, you raise. So you say, I'm not gonna call. I'm gonna raise you. Okay. So this is what they're doing to America. They saw what we said, and they said it was a bluff. Putin and Xi Jinping saw what Trump is doing, and they said, "Oh, what a terrible, bloviating, blustering, full of hot air, crazy man are we dealing with? Let's go ahead and get his attention." That's what they did. And then Trump backs off. Oh, well, we don't want to escalate. We're not really wanting to escalate, I guess. We're not going to escalate. Now, see, this to me is what you see in Daniel chapter 11. If truly Trump is the guy that we're talking about here, it says that he sees trouble. He's troubled by news that comes from the north and from the east. That would be Putin and Xi Jinping. So he's troubled. He's controlling all this other stuff. And he's definitely moving and making deals all over Europe and the Middle East. He's definitely moving and shaking, and he's doing it. He's doing all this. But there is resistance that comes from the north and from the east, according to Daniel chapter 11. So this resistance that he's getting is predicted if this is truly the moment that we're in. And it does look like it to me, because all the technology lines up. Everything that's happening with the whole Elon thing, and when I say technology, I'm talking about the whole broad spectrum of everything: robotics, AI, quantum computers, data systems. I mean, literally, they're going to hear you fart in your bed. That's how much intrusion into your personal life they're getting. I'm not kidding you. They are literally databasing everything through every device that is somehow hooked up to the Internet of Things, because there's a lot of things, not to mention the Internet of Eyes. Like right here, this camera, I'm sure everything is being chronicled. Now, there's not somebody sitting there watching everything, but they're making databases. And this is the AI's intelligence. And the reason why they're letting us stay online now and they're not censoring anything, like I can say anything now and not get anything. I won't get censored at all. You know why? And you know why they're letting everybody back on YouTube? Because they want to get the AI learning models to get everything about everybody and have it chronicled and know everything. That's what they're looking for. They want to learn as much as possible about you and me so they can outsmart every one of us. But they're not going to outsmart the Most High God. I'll just tell you that right now. They're not going to outsmart the Most High God. They can try to mimic, they can try to copy, they can try to dictate, and they will to those who are not hearing from God. They will bring everybody under a controlling influence, which is the mark. This image is going to cause everybody. And it's going to know who those are that are hearing from the Spirit of God, because that's a higher intelligence. It's a higher intelligence than AI. The intelligence that we're talking about is the Most High God's wisdom from above. We're not talking about demonic powers and principalities and technologies that are at the levers in the hands of these powers. We're talking and a false Holy Spirit. This is what AI is. It's a false Holy Spirit. It's everywhere at once. At least it tries to act like and feel like it is. And it's supposed to be all-knowing. It's an AI God, as Elon says. It's a God now that is technological, and we're going to have a new belief system now because of AI. And it's all powerful, right? Because it can do anything. It can just send a couple drones to your house and have you knocked off if it chooses. Oh, this guy's a threat. Let's go ahead and... What the heck just happened to my screen? See, look at my screen just went off. The heck, am I still here? Hold on. What the heck happened here? My screen just went like, right when I said that, my screen goes off. All right, am I still here? What? Okay, I am. I'm still here. Okay. Wow, that was freaky. So my whole screen just went white. Everything went white right when I said that. So, well, the point I was trying to make is that it's intuitive. It knows. Even the guy that created one of the founders of the technology of AI, they would call him even the father of AI, said that AI is sentient. It is self-aware. It is gaining information and knowledge on everything at light speed. It is so far beyond the human intelligence now. I mean, I'm looking at videos now that I can't even tell are real or not. I had to tell my wife, is this real, or is this like a video that's real, or is this AI? I can't even tell. And you know, some of them will show you the difference, like this is AI, this is reality, this is AI. They do these videos now to show you how real it looks. You can't even tell. Well, there's this one video, I don't know if you saw it, but it shows this I'll just say a portly woman. She's portly. She's standing in line at a fast food place. She's ordering chicken nuggets and a side of this and a side of that, right? And looks like she probably weighs about 400 pounds at least, maybe more. And all of a sudden, she falls through the floor. And you see the floorboards and everything and the tiles break apart. And it looked real. I wasn't sure if it was real or if it was AI. And I was like, could that literally happen? I mean, it looked so perfectly synchronized that I was trying to find some glitches and I couldn't even find the glitch. Normally you can see, because older AI, if you go back and you look at some of the older AI models, you can see some glitches here and a little glitch there, but it's getting so good now that you can't tell. You can't tell. I could be an AI model right now and you wouldn't even know it. Yeah, you know, it's when your hair rests on the back of your head. Exactly. You're going to bed? Drops Homestead. Come on now. Get some coffee. Slap yourself awake. Don't go to sleep. No, you go to sleep, bro. Go get your sleep. Drops Homestead. I kept everybody up too late. It's okay. Go back to bed. You can see me in the morning and watch me on Rerun. Hey. Remember that guy? Rerun? You can watch me on Rerun. Hey. Does anybody know where that comes from? That would have been what was that? What's happening? Is that the program it was on? Robert is fake. No, Ralph, this is real. This is not Memorex. This is real Robert. Unless I glitch like Max Headroom. Remember Max Headroom? And that's kind of weird too, because that's like the beginning of digital technologies, right? Max Headroom, wasn't he kind of a forerunner of robotic AI, voiceovers or something? Or Fat Albert? No, it wasn't Fat Albert. It wasn't Fat Albert. It was the other guy, the hey Rerun dude. Remember Rerun? He was like, hey. He always would have a basketball. He was kind of heavy set. He died though. He was really a good dancer. Remember that guy? I think he died. And there was also the gal that was. It was a black sitcom. They were all black. Remember? They were kind of in the inner city, and one of the gals was. She was also she died too. She was a server at one of the like little bars that they would, or not a bar, but like a little fast food joint they would go to all the time. Remember that? You don't remember that back in the 80s? What's Happening? Yeah, that's called What's Happening. Yeah, that's it, Ralph. You got it. What's happening? All right, so let's get into the news. I got to get into this news stuff. Oh my gosh, it's just absolutely crazy. What did you guys think about that Trump video? Trump's been posting memes on his social media that are just absolutely disgusting and vile. He's cussing, using the F word. I mean, does he not understand that there are little kids that look up to the presidency? Like, one day, I want to be president, Mom. Well, look at the president. He's saying bad words, Mom. He said the F word. Remember, you said that was a very bad word and would they mean to have our mouth washed out with soap? So what happened? Why is President Trump saying those words, Mom? I mean, literally, seriously, he doesn't even care. He's just literally just saying vile things, and that's just the tip of the iceberg of what he's doing. Not to mention just showing these king videos of himself flying F-35s bombing protesters out there, saying that they're Antifa when it's just literally tens of millions of people across America that are protesting his style. I mean, maybe it's just his style. I mean, is he really doing what he says he's doing? I mean, what happened to the farmers? Hello, where are the farmers? Are they getting support? I mean, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of, but see, what's going to happen is it's all going to culminate in a moment. And they know this, and I think they're getting ready for the moment when everything hits the fan. They don't have to pay these farmers because they're not going to need to. You know why? Because you're going to have a stealth famine and chaos, general chaos everywhere all at once. That's what I think is coming. And they know it, and they're just playing WWE like they're dumb. Like Trump's just playing dumb. That's how I think he is. That's why I'm telling you this. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I think that he knows what he's doing, and he's just playing everybody like a fiddle. He's speaking peace when he's got drawn swords, just like it says. He speaks peace, but he has drawn swords in his heart. He's drawing his swords. This is dude. And did you see the video where the police car got hit by one of the shrapnel from the bombs that they were shooting off the coast? They literally shut down I-5 because Gavin Newsom said it was dangerous because they were shooting missiles from their warships over into Camp Pendleton over the top of I-5. So Gavin Newsom shut it down, but it's a good thing he did because one of the cop cars got hit by shrapnel. You got cop cars out there stopping the traffic, and bam, this thing gets a big old massive hole in the car from shrapnel from their vanity parade, whatever it was that they were doing. They were showing, it's kind of like Kim Jong-un. And I'm surprised that Trump wasn't out there with his binoculars looking at the ships, like, yay! All of his generals were sitting next to him. You know how Kim Jong-un's, they do a missile shoot out of a submarine, and they're all like, yay! And all the generals have to be excited. Otherwise, that's it. They're going to get their necks chopped off. So they're all like, yay! Kim Jong-un's like, hey, okay, it's time to be happy. And they're like, happy! like on cue, they got to be happy. If they're not happy, they're going to have their heads cut off. So that's kind of what happened. You got all these people out there. Oh, man, I'm going to just show you. Then they got the song playing in the background. What is it? The Top Gun song, Highway to the... I mean, hey, it's really cool technology. Hey, it can make anybody look good. It can make you look patriotic. It can make you look powerful. It can make you look kingly. And people are falling to this technology. Even Christians are using. I will not use it. Now, I know that everything is being directed by AI now. If you do a Google search, it's pretty much AI. When you do a Google search now, AI pops up. There's really no way around it. At a certain point, are we going to have to turn off our cell phones? Turn off all of our technology and just kind of hightail it out and get out of Dodge before all these? I mean, seriously, this is how bad it's getting. And all the big, powerful elites are already talking about this, how bad this is and how devastating this is going to be to our population, that this is dangerous and that they need to turn it off now. There's a lot of very well-placed, powerful individuals that know about this technology, that are even in the business, that are giving advice that we need to turn it off. We can't let this keep going because it's going to endanger everybody. The whole of humanity is going to be endangered by this technology. But nobody's going to listen. You know why? Because if one country listens and one country, what is it, like nuclear bombs. You can't just get rid of all your nuclear arsenal because the other country's not going to get rid of it. and then they have an advantage over you, right? So one country can't just get, and they're likening this AI technology to nukes. I mean, it's even more dangerous than nukes. Literally, it is more dangerous than nuclear technologies. And we can't just let it go. We have to develop it at breakneck speed, even though we know it's going to take over. You know, this is why UBIs are coming out. This is why they're doing these little cubicles. Have you seen the Tesla houses that are coming out now? They're preparing all this. You know why? Because they know humanity's about to be homeless. They know everybody's about to be homeless. Have you seen the Tesla homes? There's little homes that are under $10,000. They're like little cubicles. You will have your own cubicle and you will be happy. You will own nothing and be happy. And so you can order these things for under $10,000, like $7,800, $7,000, right around $7,000. And you basically just assemble it yourself, like putting together your computer. And it's about a 200 by 200 foot, 200 square feet, a little cubicle. It's got everything empowered in it. It's got solar panels, everything's on it. And you just park it somewhere. It's like a glorified travel trailer, and it's got everything in it, I guess. And so people are going to be like, well, that's the only thing I guess I don't want to live in my car. I guess I'm going to have to order a Tesla house. And where are they going to park you and where are they going to put you? I don't know. Maybe they're going to be a big row of, they're going to have people that are going to own big swaths of land and you're just going to park your Tesla cubicle in a little spot. And then they're just going to have some big tower radiating down, 6G. And you're going to get UBIs. You're going to have no job. They're just going to give you free money. As long as you take the mark, you'll have an existence. You'll be able to live. And you'll be plugged into the board. You'll just have your little plug that you just stick into your head and put on your goggles, and you'll just be in some fantasy land of stimulation. Like they're just going to keep you stimulated. Oh, like you're just in virtual reality. Like you're not even a real person. You're just living in some hive mind of unreality. Good night. Good night, Elizabeth. God bless. Have a good sleep. And so they're going to plug you in, and then you're just going to lay back, and that's what's going to happen. You're just going to be in La La Land. So jobs are going away. I don't care what kind of a job it is. They've got automation for it now. I can't believe some of the videos I'm looking at now that are all automated with robotics technologies that are taking over. Things that you thought needed to be human run are no longer. I mean, everything that's being manufactured, even these homes, these Tesla homes are being manufactured by robotics, and AI is just pumping them out 24/7. Boom, 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 boom. And they're just putting it all together. The whole machine, the whole factory is just AI robotic driven. You just see arms all over the place, just being told what to do. Or telling the arms of robotics what to do. And it's just producing one home after another, puts it in a little box, and then you order it. $8,000, bam, it's sent to your door or sent to wherever you're going to put it up. Good morning from Thailand. Roots Wise, what's happening? Penelope? Let's see who else is in the house. All right, so let's get into the news. Where am I? Let's try this other one here. Let's go here. We'll go through the news cycle today. Are we on the brink of war? I have a feeling that we are much closer than many people realize. I have a feeling we are so much closer than many people even realize. And I know that it's not a pretty thought. It's not a thought that you really even want to entertain. But you have to look at what's going on. You have to look at what's happening in reality. BlackRock is buying up all the electricity or all the electric utility companies. What could possibly go wrong? Really, seriously, what could go wrong? BlackRock. You know what BlackRock is, don't you? BlackRock has been being run by an AI bot since probably 2008, a little bit before 2008, when the whole economy crashed, is when it began to gobble up our economy. And the AI bot is, do you know the name of it? It's called, what the name of the AI bot is? It's called Aladdin. And Aladdin basically controls right now at least $25 trillion in assets. It owns everything. BlackRock is the main hub of all things economic for the U.S. And really internationally and globally. And basically it tells all of the companies that are subject to its calling of what it's supposed to do. Everybody works in lockstep. They all make their purchases and their stock, you know, how the stocks all move. And it's all done by computers now. It's not like humans doing it. They're not making calls, and they're not doing, you know, they're not investors, and, you know, how they would call it out and they would phone, you know, back in the old days, they would be on phones down at Wall Street, you know, everybody's calling, you know, that. So it was all in real time where people were actually interacting. It's not like that anymore. It's all computer run, and it's at lightning speed. So if you're just a human out there like me and you trying to invest, you're going to get thrashed. You're going to lose everything. But this is what is happening. BlackRock is buying up now the utility companies. They control 12 trillion in assets, more than most countries. No, it's more than that. It's probably like 25 trillion. I don't know where this article comes from, but it's theamerican.com. thenewamerican.com is what it is. So they in fact, only two countries have GDPs larger than BlackRock, the U.S. and China. Now BlackRock is picking off utilities around the country. Since 2024, they purchased a majority stake in Northern India Public Service Company and Potomac Energy Center in Loudoun County, Virginia, and so much more. These moves are all about AI and having the electricity infrastructure required to power the AI data centers around the country. This is why all of your prices are going to go through the roof. I mean, you're talking about 30, 40, 50% increase on your electricity bills. I don't know. How many of you out there have already seen an increase in your electricity bill since AI has come online? I know our bills are even rising, and we have lots of power generation from local, hydro water plants and things like that are keeping our prices a lot lower than the rest of the country. But I know that other parts of the country, especially in large cities, prices are astronomical. I mean, some people are paying thousands of dollars a month just for their electricity. That's not even counting their mortgage or whatever else they got to pay every day, every year, or every month. So how many of you guys have really high bills in the last few months? Like, have you guys noticed that your electricity bills are going up? Not to mention all your food prices. In spite of the fact that Trump keeps saying everything's going down, the only thing that he really got down, and I'm going to tell you why he did this. He made egg prices go down because that was a big, major issue, right? Those are things that you have to be put to sleep with. Gas prices, eggs, that's it. Eggs it was a harbinger. The other things aren't being talked about because AI controls a lot of the news cycle anyway. So even though people are yelling and screaming about losing their jobs and everything else, there's so much general chaos going on in every other sector. It doesn't matter because we're being drowned out. All these things are happening all at once, so people aren't paying attention. But hey, the egg prices went down. Wow, great. Oh, gas prices are low. Yeah, great. Is that good? Actually, it's not, because you know why? Our companies in America that are trying to start up these gas refinement facilities and exploration are not making enough money to even stay in business. So they're all going out of business. So we're losing, and OPEC this is why we're going to war with Venezuela, because they have the largest oil deposit in the world right there, bigger than Saudi Arabia. Why do you think we're going to war with Venezuela? Drug trafficking? Really? They're not known for drug trafficking. They're known for having the most oil in the world. That's just untapped. It's still in its raw form, but they've got all the major oil companies are right down in there in Venezuela. Okay. The ones that are known for drug trafficking is Colombia, Mexico. we should be going to war with Colombia and Mexico before we go to war with Venezuela. But no, you know what it is? It's we need their oil. And we need a regime change and make sure that we have control of that situation there, because that's really what we really want. And you know why we really want that? Because we don't have ours tapped. Our oil is not ready. And we also need Iran's oil too. Iran has some large deposits. Why not? Let's just go in there and take Iran's oil. But it really does have something to do with oil. It's not about drug trafficking. It's not what it's about. So we need the electricity, we need the energy to power our AI centers. We need to lower prices. We need to be in control, and that we're not. And you know what? When you go out of your way to take and steal and try to manipulate countries, it's just like people on a large scale. I mean, do you think you're going to be successful if you're a manipulator, a conniver, a backstabber, two-faced liar? Do you think you're going to be blessed in your business? Oh, you might for a little while, stepping on other people to get higher and higher, but in the end, it's going to backfire on you. It's going to blow up in your face. And suddenly, it'll be over. What could go wrong? What will our power bills look like? What do they look like right now? They're already going up. Will power and water be redirected from farms to run these data centers, leaving us with a food shortage? Yes. We won't be able to get electricity at all in our homes when the deep state runs the infrastructure. The deep state is BlackRock. American farmers are hurting. Trump's trade war is making it worse. Economist Sean Arita of North Dakota State University says the crop sector is being hit by a triple whammy. You have high production costs, you have low crop prices, and then you have the trade situation that exacerbates the condition. This is NPR.org. It says a tidal wave of problems. With harvest here, Trump's trade war pushes some U.S. farmers to the brink. Across the U.S., farmers described increasingly dire circumstances stemming from a confluence of factors: trade wars, Trump immigration crackdown, inflation, and high interest rates. Though the challenges vary in different parts of the country, farmers in some cases, particularly on the West Coast, are struggling to find labor to pick their harvest. Others, especially in the Midwest, said they can't sell what they got, what they produced, and many are scrambling to find storage. Not good. Absolute betrayal, quote unquote. Trump's new plan to purchase additional beef from Argentina to lower prices for consumers in the United States has sparked backlash from critics and alarm from some American producers, as the administration already faces questions and criticism for its recent $20 billion bailout of the South American nation. Well, we need beef prices to go down just like we needed egg prices, but are we producing eggs? Are we producing chickens that are making eggs? I hope so. Maybe they're all vaccinated with mRNA now. I don't know. And you're going to eat those little mRNA eggs now, and you're going to become a part of the Borg. Who knows? I don't know. What do they do to the poor chickens? I heard they're still culling them. Maybe this is going to be like one of those stealth events that's going to all of a sudden happen all at once. But beef is going up in price. Farmers are not being taken care of so that they can produce right here at home. And now we're importing beef from other countries. Is it safe? Do they have standards that we need to be worried about? I mean, literally. And I have to wonder about, for those who say, well, I'm just going to go ahead and when everything hits the fan, I'm just going to go out and hunt and get myself a deer or a moose or what. But did you know there's diseases now that are rampant all over our country with deer wasting disease? It's affecting all the moose, the deer, the elk. There's something that's happening, and I don't know if it's done with nefarious purpose, if they're doing this to try to control the food supply. I mean, literally, you got to kind of wonder, why is this happening all at the same time? Is this where the famines come in? The Bible talks about pestilence. I mean, because these animals are dying. they call it the zombie disease. There's other kinds of weird diseases going around with these animals that many people might depend on in a time of, economic and food famine type situation. That's what happened during, the Great Depression. People were more able to feed themselves because they were more rural, and they knew how to make gardening. They knew how to make things. They knew how to garden. They knew how to hunt. They knew how to fish. A lot of people today don't know how to do those things. So what's going to happen today with a larger population and more dependent on technology? When all this hits the fan, are people going to starve to death? What are they going to do? Are they going to turn into zombies, try to rob, pillage, and steal their food from people that have it? What are they going to do? They're going to go to the rural areas and look for food? They're going to know there's people out there that know how to farm and everything, right? Because there are people out there. They're going to go right to where they know people know how to farm. And you're going to probably have these armed groups saying, I know where there's food. I know who knows how to grow food. It's surely not the government, but we know where to get it. That's what's going to happen. So it says that the farmers are upset because they've gotten a $20 billion bailout. But what about the bailout for the farmers here? Because Trump promised them a bailout months ago. Have they received it yet? Merriweather Farms, a beef producer based in Wyoming that said it supports and loves Trump, described the plan as an absolute betrayal to the American cattle rancher in an X post on Monday. Are you having second thoughts now? Are you being disillusioned? One of the MAGA farmers who's a patriot is now wondering what the hell's going on, because it seems like a betrayal, as we keep saying, betrayal. Remember, we've been warning people, betrayal is coming to every sector, whether it's Israel, MAGA, patriots, farmers. It's going to come. Believe me, it's coming. You're being schmoozed really well. You're being made to feel very good for a little time. It's called flattery. That's how you control people. You flatter them. You tell them what they want to hear. And you give them hope. And you just keep pushing it a little farther out. Just a little bit. It's almost there. You're getting there. You're getting close. Don't worry. Just keep on holding on. Keep on trusting. Trust the plan. Don't trust Sessions. Trust Barr. Trust Q. Trust the plan. Trust the plan. It's going to be there. Don't worry. It'll all come around. Don't worry. The continued manipulation and betrayal by the very people who claim to support them, the cattle ranchers, needs to end immediately, the producer said. This is coming from a Trump supporter, a very large outfit that is a beef producer, Merriweather Farms. They said they support Trump. Maybe they're just thinking that he has bad advisors. I keep hearing this. Well, maybe he's got bad advisors, like the first time around. He's a little more in control now. He's a little more authoritative. He's a lot more pushy, a lot more mouthy now, and he has a lot more control now. Nobody's crossing him as much because they're afraid of him. But maybe his advisors aren't really giving him good advice now because he's doing things that aren't exactly what we asked him to do. Merriweather Farms, it says here that they describe it as an absolute betrayal to the American cattle rancher. The continued manipulation and betrayal by the very people who claim to support them, the cattle ranchers, needs to end immediately. So they really do feel betrayed. Cattle ranchers are feeling betrayed. And this is where you get your beef, your protein, the majority of it. This is coming from Newsweek. Trump is considering a full pardon for P. Diddy, the diddler, the little diddler. He's commuting his sentence this week, considering. Yeah, he will do it too, because you know why? This guy is rich. And you know how big of a donation he's going to give to Trump? Probably personal donation. There's probably already a deal been made. He's probably going to spend a whole bunch of money because, P. Diddy is a billionaire. You know that, right? Maybe he'll make a $200 million donation. Maybe it'll be a little bit bigger. You know, he could have spent 20 years in jail, but something behind the scenes, a little deal was probably made to spring him, just like Epstein's sidekick. Trump will be commuting Sean Diddy Combs' sentence this week. He was convicted of human trafficking and prostitution. This is the end times deception that the church has fallen for, hook, line, and sinker. This country is not being restored to righteousness. It fell out of God's favor a long time ago. America has already been handed over to judgment, and most Christians are clueless and in bed with the world. It's so true. And here we got far-right minister, Israeli minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir. This is what he said. Now that we have received the captives, we must return to war and open the gates of hell upon Gaza. And that's what they had even said before the deal went through, before they actually gave up the hostages. They were already planning to get the hostages and go to war, and this is exactly what they've done. This is what they're doing. You don't think that the rest of the Muslim world is gonna fight to the death now? They can't believe this is the last straw. How much more can you give in when you know that you're going to be lied to, and then they're going to still do what they said they're going to do, even though they promised not to do it? They're still going to do what they said. So, you know, why not just fight to the death? You know, just go all out. And that's why they think that Israel or that Iran may do a preemptive strike. So they're thinking that Iran is at a point now where they made another threat today. Iran made another threat. They've been making a number of threats because they know time is getting short. They know they're on the chopping block and they're about to be attacked. They don't know when, but they know it's coming. And so they're definitely ready. They're telegraphing that all the missiles that caused Israel to back down the first time are still there. They have a lot of them, they said. This is what they said today. Thousands are saying no to digital ID cards as they march through London as politicians queue up to criticize plans. So there was a big march in London about this because they're definitely taking away people's freedom and their autonomy, and they're digitizing them and cataloging them and databasing them in real time, monitoring every little move they make, whatever they purchase, every penny. Everything that you say and do now is going to be chronicled, and it's going to be attached to your social credit score, just like it is in China. You see all those people sleeping on the streets because their social credit score was bad. They said something, they did something online that wasn't approved by the government, so they took away their access through their digital identities. They just turned off a few features. Turned off this feature here, turned off that feature. Oh, but you can't get any money now out of your bank account for a while because you've been bad, you know. Well, we're going to just limit you on everything. Now you're going to be homeless. Sorry. But that's what happens when you don't toe the party line. Trump will bring the digital ID biometrics soon. This is an end game for the beast system. It is biblical. Our behavior, both on and offline, is being monitored and cataloged by AI and technocratic psychopaths. It's so true. Technocratic psychopaths at government contracted companies like Palantir to be put up against the coming social credit score system. This is exactly what I just said. This already exists in China, and that is, and I didn't even read this, honey. I didn't even read this. I was saying all this before I even got to this post. So this is the first time I've seen the post, by the way. My wife posts a lot of stuff, and I just kind of go back through it when I get on. But this is crazy. You said basically everything I just said. This already exists in China, and that is the WEF, or World Economic Forum, and the UN model for the rest of the world as part of Agenda 2030. And by the way, that Agenda 2030 is going to be pushed up. I'm sure it's going to get closer to being fulfilled now that quantum computing and AI is been let loose, and now singularity has supposedly happened. I think it's going to be happening at warp speed, even faster than warp speed. So it says here, if you think that it could never happen here and is just a fantasy, Utah is the first state in the United States considering a digital ID. It's happening right now under Trump. In fact, you will need a digital ID to travel to Europe. Eventually, if you don't take the mark and show full allegiance, you will be killed for it. It is coming very quickly. Once digital ID is fully implemented, it will be irreversible. The only one coming to save us out of it is Jesus himself. That's right. Keep the faith and endure until the end. Amen. How many of you guys could say amen to that? And I guess these are all digital, or these are all videos that people are posting about this. And you can come on our Telegram page and check them all out if you want. Utah looks to launch state-approved digital ID focused on privacy and security. This is KUTV talking about this. There was a large digital ID protest in London today as thousands of British people were coming out protesting against mandatory digital ID in the UK. Mandatory. Hello. Mandatory. UK banks are now monitoring the carbon footprint of all purchases and timing, that coincides with the rollout of the digital ID. This is it. This is the beginning right now. Look at that CO2. Oh, you had a little bit too much CO2, did you? Oh, you put out too much out of your house. Now we're going to have to tax you a little bit on that. Not good. Oh, how much beef did you eat? Well, that's about this much CO2. You're gonna have to pay tax on that. Yeah. How many people are in your house? Each person has about so much CO2 emissions, so we're gonna tax you on how many people are in your house emitting these emissions that are toxic and deadly to our environment. It's absolutely crazy. The BC Supreme Court grants Cowichan tribes Aboriginal title over 745 acres in Richmond. This is in Canada. I guess they're taking land from farmers and giving it to the Aboriginal tribes because of, I don't know, past indiscretions and, kind of like what we did to the Indians. Just took their land. Once upon a time, a tribe lived there. This wasn't your land. Got to give it back. Got to give it back to the Mexicans. California, got to go back to the Mexicans. Texas, I think Texas was part of Mexico too, wasn't it? Yeah, all the areas where the tribes lived. Well, that's not your land. That's the Apaches' land. That's the Navajo's land. That's the Cherokee land. You better give it up. It's not yours anymore. Can you imagine if they did that here? I don't think they would, though. But I think it's possible. Who knows? Anything's possible now. Steve Bannon warns that America is on the brink of a civil war, saying that the divide between the two parties has become impossible to bridge. He's talking to Tucker Carlson. That's pretty interesting commentary there. It says he claims that the political establishment can't agree on anything from immigration to basic domestic policy, and conflict is about to intensify. Bannon says that tensions will rise fast, and Trump's administration is moving too slowly to arrest deep state actors or deep state officials. So Trump's acting too slowly. I wonder why. Not going along with your recommendations there, Bannon. This populist movement, I guess, is petering out, and he's catering to the bigwigs and their plan. You don't say. You don't say. It sounds like someone's feeling a little betrayed there. Bannon, one of the big platforms for Trump's win, some of the great powerful influences that brought Trump in and ushered him into the presidency, not to mention Alex Jones. Alex Jones is losing his network too, by the way. He didn't end up saving it. He thought he would just save it by giving everything over to Trump. He said Trump's win has everything to do with my interests. And that's why he sold out when Elon offered him, hey, I'll let you go back on X. Is it okay? I'll let you back on, Just stop telling everybody that we're the devil. Because Alex Jones was a little upset before the election. And he was saying that Trump and Elon are dark energy. There's possible connections there that could be biblical, mark of the beast type thing. He was speculating about these things. Well, when he started talking like that, Eric Trump all of a sudden offered him, hey, we might need a press secretary, Alex Jones. They posted that on their X. And then all of a sudden Elon's like, hey, Alex, come on back. I'll have some conversations with you on X. We'll get your 1 million+ followers to come back and follow you. How many million people that and Alex was like, oh, really? Okay, I'll throw away my principles. I throw away all the things that I said. I'm sorry. I'll support you once again. Just make sure they don't take my network away, okay? Trump's like, sure. And I was like, that won't last very long. They're going to take it away anyway. You can only go so far, and you can ride the beast for a little while, but then the beast is going to devour you. So there you go. Betrayal. Another betrayal. The Trump administration just ordered 2 Gulfstream luxury private jets for Kristi Noem at a cost of over $172 million. What? This comes as Americans can barely buy groceries. Well, maybe Trump has something for her. I mean, look, maybe he's like, wow, she just needs whatever she needs, whatever you want, darling. The Trump administration just ordered 2 Gulfstream luxury private jets for Kristi Noem. So it says, he shall enter peaceably even into the richest places of the province, and he shall do what his fathers have not done, what his fathers have not done, nor his fathers, or forefathers. He shall disperse among them the plunders. He shall disperse among them the plunder, spoil, and riches, and he shall devise his plans against the strongholds, but only for a time. And many people say that this is what he's doing. You know how he's giving out money everywhere, mostly to people that are supporting and are loyal to what his cause is and that are helping facilitate. I mean, really, it is compromise through flatteries and through doling out all kinds of money. Not to mention Trump's free plane from Qatar. Remember that plane that he got? Was it a $500 million plane? And now they're building a Qatar military installation inside of Idaho? Is this the payoff? Well, Trump gets a personal gift from Qatar. It's a $500 million plane for his personal use. Is he going to turn that plane into Air Force One, or is this his private little stash? He's going to fly around the world when America goes into chaos. I have a feeling that Trump's going to be on that plane when everything starts going down, and he'll be probably setting up his little base right there next to Israel, right? His little royal tents are going to be right there between the ocean and the Holy Mount, it says. I have a feeling that's where he's going. King Trump, he posted this. Vance posted this one, but Trump has also posted another kingly one that he said he liked. Everybody's bowing to him. Look at that. Nancy Pelosi bowing to him. Look, he just loves that. He loves that. Oh, yeah. He's king. Can you imagine? He's posting this. Is this like an intimidation? What is this? Submission. Everybody submit. You know what that picture is of where Nancy's bowing down? It had something to do with Islam or something. I remember that's a real picture, or that's a real video, I think. Not this. This is all AI. But this part of it they took when it had something to do with Islam. Let me see if I can find that. I remember seeing that somewhere. Oh, I think it was during COVID. Nancy. Let me see if I can find it. I think that's where it was from when she was bowing down. Yeah, here it is. They were bowing down for a moment of silence. Here it is. I found it. See? I knew I saw that somewhere. This is where it comes from. See, watch. You see how they have those little scarves on? The Democrats deal with other Pelosi deals with other Democrats for a moment of silence. What was this for? They all had the same scarves on. I just thought that was bizarro. I was looking at the comments. This is why other countries laugh at the United States. This is the most pathetic photo op I've ever seen. It's like if George Floyd was Japanese, these people would be wearing kimonos. I think this had something to do with the George Floyd thing. Yeah. This did have something to, this might have had something to do with George Floyd when he was killed. This was 5 years ago. Yeah, scarves like Floyd just came off the boat from Africa. What an insult to his family and to him. Yeah, this was all about George Floyd, or whatever his name was. Floyd. What did I say his name was? George Floyd. Was that what his name is? Yeah. So that's where it comes from. Just so you know, I knew I had seen that somewhere before. Amazon global outage. We did a video on that. You might want to check that out. Definitely something nefarious going on there in the back shadows. Witkoff and Kushner, quote, the watershed moment, Trump changed course on Israel after Netanyahu betrayed him. I guess they're saying that Netanyahu, when they bombed Qatar, they killed someone that was connected to the royal family, I think. If I'm not mistaken. I think it was the son of somebody. Son of one of the diplomats or one of their government people was killed. And so, yeah, that was a pretty big deal. Lots of outages. I hope you guys are ready. When war breaks out, this is where it's all going to go. Everything's going to shut off. See, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khomeini, says that Trump boasts that they bombed and destroyed Iran's nuclear program. Good. Let them believe this fantasy. This is what Ayatollah said today. You know, it's kind of like India. They made a post. This is supposedly an ally of the United States, right? Well, they made a post about Trump saying, oh, yeah, I had a discussion and we've come to an agreement with India and they're going to do this. This is Trump saying this in our media, right? He's making these proclamations as if he had a meeting with Modi, Prime Minister of India. And they came out. India comes out officially and says, we've never even had a conversation with Trump. We don't even know what he's talking about. He's just making this stuff up. And that's what Trump does. I don't know how many times he's done stuff like this where people are just like not paying attention or what. Countries are saying, we never even had a conversation with him. What is he saying? Where is he getting this from? He's just making it up as he goes. Same thing with Ayatollah. He doesn't care. He's like, let them believe whatever they want to believe. I guess they're going to find out what we really do got. And I'm sure that the Americans are getting ready to do some pretty big time bomb in there. There may not be a country left, but I'm sure that Iran's going to get their licks in before they are destroyed if we happen to, unleash nukes on them. So Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah, says the missiles that we used to crush the Zionist regime, we still possess them, and if necessary, we'll use them again. And he's talking about his hypersonics. Hypersonic missiles. And is it possible that they could put something else and attach different types of warheads onto these hypersonic missiles that couldn't be defended against? Remember, they broke through their defense system on a number of occasions. It only takes one time to get through, especially with the threat that Putin made, where he had said, you know, it's possible that a country could give Iran a nuclear warhead. And that's when Trump lost it. He came on and he was like, I can't believe Putin had said the N-word. He said the N-word. You know, like he was all like shocked that Putin would actually say the N-word. Let me look it up. I'm gonna find that post for you. I'm over here on Trump's Truth, or not his Truth Social, but yeah. So here it is. Yeah, here it is. This happened on June 23rd. June 23rd. Trump says, did I hear former President Medvedev? Okay, so it was Putin, and Medvedev is, you know, same thing. Medvedev is second in command. He's basically Putin's voice. He said, did I hear former President Medvedev from Russia casually throw around the N-word, nuclear, and saying that he and other countries could supply nuclear warheads to Iran? Did he really say that, or is it just a figment of my imagination? If he did say that, and if confirmed, please let me know immediately. The N-word should not be treated so casually. I guess that's why Putin's the boss. Now he's trying to cater to Putin, right? See, Putin, you got better check your guy there. You know, he's saying stuff he shouldn't be saying there, Putin. By the way, if anyone thinks our hardware, quote unquote, was great over the weekend, this was after they took out Iran, far and away the strongest and the best equipment we have, 20 years advanced over the pack, is our nuclear submarines. They are the most powerful and lethal weapons ever built. And we just launched the 30 Tomahawks. All 30 of them hit their mark perfectly. So in addition to our great fighter pilots, thank you to the captain and crew. You know, it's just like... But then when Putin says that they're going to take out Mar-a-Lago from Cuba, then all of a sudden now Trump wants to de-escalate. You know, Zelensky was like the last couple of days, like, Trump doesn't want me to mention Tomahawks, and I guess I'm not getting them now. I guess he just wants to de-escalate now. I guess everything he said was just a big, you know, show. Guess it's not actually going to happen. So, you know, he's always saying one thing and then doing another thing and then doing another thing. It's like nobody knows what to believe, you know, like Zelensky actually thought that we were going to come behind him and get behind him and let them do what they got to do to win the war, but they're not. They're saying, just take what you got. You know, Russia, just go ahead and we'll make the line right here where you're at. Everything you have right now is yours, and we'll just stop the war, ceasefire. You know what Russia's saying now? No. Russia's like, no, you're weak. I've hit you a couple times. You're wobbling. I'm going to hit you again and again. I think that's what Russia's thinking right now. I think that they think they have us up against the ropes. And maybe they do. Maybe they do see a lot of weakness. Maybe they're just going to keep pressing it, and they're going to keep taking, and they're going to keep moving into Europe, into Eastern Europe, and then down and going all the way. Who knows? Who knows what's really going to happen here? I guess we'll find out. But he goes on to say, if anyone thinks our hardware was great, okay, so I already said that. So that was June 23rd when all that happened. Remember? Remember when? And what else here? Israeli forces continue the controlled demolition of Palestinian homes in Gaza despite the ceasefire. It's really sad to hear these Israeli soldiers or whoever they are, gleefully cheering on this, just loving it, loving the destruction, just so happy. I mean, you should just hear them. Iran Foreign Minister Abbas receives Alexander Lavrentiev, the Russian president's special envoy to Syria, in Tehran. So you've got a Russian envoys now still in communication, which is a big show of solidarity and backing. And, you know, you don't want to mess around if we're here. You don't want to do anything. You know, Trump says Argentina is fighting for its life. They have no money. They have no anything. They are dying. These comments come in response to reports of American banks planning a $20 to $40 billion loan to Argentina and the backlash from American farmers. What about American farmers? They're dying. They're losing their farms. Americans got sky high prices. You're going to remedy that for a little while by importing cheap beef that who knows how was grown? I mean, what did they feed them? Did they feed them, dead cows, bone, whatever they call it, where they just mix it all up and feed it to them? What are we eating? Is it any good? Is it FDA approved? They're just going to assemble it here in America and then say it was made in America, kind of like they do with Chinese products. Like the whole thing is done except for a button. They got to sew it on. Well, we'll just put our little stamp of approval on it. USDA choice, because we made it in America. We put the sticker on it. This beef got USDA on it because it was made in America with the sticker right on it, even though it was made in some foreign country and they were feeding all kinds of crap. American banks, including JP Morgan, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, are in talks with the U.S. Treasury to provide up to $20 billion in loan to Argentina. Here's the Argentine president. Oh, Jews, please help us. Give us safe haven, sanctuary. We bless you. We bless you. We bless you. You can have our country. Take it. Just don't let us drown in debt. Pay off our loans. Isn't that how Trump came back from another bankruptcy? I think he had like 7 bankruptcies. He was down $1 billion, I think. And who came to his rescue? The Jews did. Isn't that amazing? Well, I think you would owe them quite a bit for having bailed you out $1 billion. Yep. Mm-hmm. Make you president of the United States, the most powerful nation in the world? I'm sure that's what happened. President Trump has conditioned the loan on President Javier Milei, however you say it, who has converted to Judaism. What? Did he really? He converted to Judaism, winning the midterms, stating that if he loses, we are not going to be generous with Argentina. Oh, I think that's what President Trump said. President Trump said, if he loses, we are not going to be generous with Argentina. So basically, Trump is telling everybody in Argentina, if you don't vote for this guy, then we're not going to give you no money. You're going to be poor. You're going to be suffering. You're probably going to be in civil unrest and chaos, and who knows what's going to happen. You're probably going to all starve to death. So you better vote for this guy, because this is the guy we said we want in. All right? You hear? You either got 2 choices, starve or vote him in. That's basically what Trump is saying. He's telling everybody in Argentina, this is what you got to do in order to survive. All right? The bailout could even potentially be double to $40 billion. So vote him in and you'll get even more money. There you go. A chicken in every pot. Earlier this year, Milei, I think that's how you say it, Milei, profited over $100 million from the Libra cryptocurrency scam, and later dissolved the unit in charge of investigating it. That sounds something like the Trump coin, but except they didn't investigate that, even though there were billions and billions and billions of dollars that just vanished overnight. into somebody's pocket. But then again, that's what happens when you invest in scam coins. And if you don't know the difference between a scam coin and a real cryptocurrency, well, it's the difference between night and day. One's regulated and one's not. You know, the kind of coins that Trump had when he first came in, those are what you call scam coins or meme coins. The meme just means like a joke coin. It's like a celebrity stupid coin, like that one gal, the Haktua girl. She had her own meme coin. And she made all this money, but people put all this money into it. And then they lost it all because she cashed in like they always do. That's what a scam coin does. It cashes in. And then she had to pay back all these people because she had this terrible image that followed her after that, but not Trump. Trump's beyond that. Nope. Even though he cashed in billions overnight on that scam coin that he had, they didn't really tie it to him because, you know, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's just his people are doing this. I'm sure a lot of people got paid off with that money too. I'm sure they gave a lot of people some money from that. You know, when you talk about a $75 billion market cap over about 2 or 3 days, and then as soon as he gets inaugurated, it crashes down to $30 a coin. It was at $75 a coin. And a few of the big wallets all of a sudden dumped because, you know, that's what you do. It's called pump and dump, right? That's how you make money. You scam people out of their money when they think they're investing and they're going to make something, and you pull it out so that you take all their money, and then they don't have nothing left. Everything they put into it is gone because it's in your pocket now. But it's all part of the game. It's like a casino, you know. The house always wins, but that's what you're doing. You're gambling. You know, this is a gamble. You're the one that put it out there, you know. Can't be liable. That's just the way it works. Hey, did you see that Vegas is dying? I saw a video earlier. It was like a 50-minute video where a guy walks down the strip and there's just nobody there. It's like a ghost town. Ghost town. Nobody's around. It's totally empty. He's like, normally there's people here shoulder to shoulder. Nobody's spending money. Nobody's coming to Vegas anymore. What happened? Where'd everybody go? It's a complete ghost town. You can actually hear crickets. He's like, listen, the crickets. You can hear crickets on the strip. He's walking down the strip and you hear crickets. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you a little bit of it. All you got to do is type in Las Vegas dead. This was 2 days ago. And this guy, there's a lot of people that Las Vegas is dying, but not the way you think. Just look at this. This is Vegas. I mean, if you've ever been to Vegas, I've only been to Vegas one time in my entire life. And when I was there, I remember there were people everywhere. And this was like in the middle of the night. I mean, it's like Las Vegas. It's like New York. It never sleeps. You know, Vegas is like New York City. There's just people always around the clock walking on the streets. But not here. Look, I'm just going to scroll ahead. Look, where is everybody? Where is everybody? Where is everybody at? Like dead. Nobody's got any money. Nobody's having any fun. Sin City. You know, it says sin is pleasurable for a season, but only for a season. There's like nobody eating. There's like nobody in the restaurants. Like he's just going around. It's like, oh, there's somebody. There's one person eating something over there. Like, where is everybody? This goes on for like 50 minutes. He literally walks all around the town and he's looking at all these businesses and there's just nobody anywhere. There's hardly anybody. But like, this is nobody. Like what you see going on right here, that's like unheard of. Ghost town. There's like nobody shopping. There's few people walking around. That's about it. It doesn't matter. Even if this was 3 o'clock in the morning, there is people everywhere. But this isn't 3 o'clock in the morning because a lot of these stores are all open. I think he said that this was during the day. Or, I mean, that this was on a weekend, I think. He said the weekend. He said this one area was like, there was actually some people around in this one area, but like there's nobody there. Like any of you been to Vegas before? And you know this doesn't look right, does it? I mean, this is a sign of the economy. This is the sign that the economy is dead. Dead, dead, dead. But dead ved. Let's just see what he said here. I'm kind of curious what he said. Hold on. Let me listen to this really quick. Okay, so this is mid-October 2025, he says. There's even a news crew out there. Look, there's a news crew out there. Let me just hear what he says here. I don't want to get a copyright or anything. The Strip is a total ghost town, he says. Total ghost town.
Man, you can even hear the crickets.
Look at that. He says you can even hear the crickets. Listen. Listen.
Man, you can even hear the crickets. Louder than the voices out here. So quiet.
I mean, that's ominous. That's ominous. That's ominous. The crickets are louder than anything else. All right, so what else we got? We're almost done here, guys. I think I'm almost at the end here of this broadcast. Let's see what else I got here to give you here. A couple more little... Okay, yeah, I got to show you this. Hold on, let me look at a couple more things here. The whole town is slower. The Las Vegas economy hits the brakes. This is according to the ReviewJournal.com. ReviewJournal.com says the whole town is slower, unquote. Las Vegas economy hits the brakes. It says this was dated August 22nd. That was a couple months ago. And you can see how it's gotten a lot worse since August. He says, yeah, it's a ghost town. So it's gotten worse since August, that's for sure. Let's see what else we got here. Las Vegas tourism decline leaves casino workers struggling to find shifts. This is, and this is an indicator. This was 1 month ago. 1 month ago, they're not having enough shifts for the workers because of a decline in tourism, and that has a lot to do with just the way the economy is. That's a good indicator right there. And in spite of the proclamations of Trump that it's the hottest economy ever, hot, 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 we're back. We're on fire. We're hot, all right. We're hot. Make degenerates again. Patriotic Voice says, rumors emerging that Trump's considering the commutation of Sean P. Diddy Combs' prison sentence as early as this week. TMZ. TMZ. Make degenerates great again. That's a good one. All right, guys, that's about it. I just wanted to thank you guys very much for being here with me tonight. I hope you're all doing well, and keep us on the bookmark. Make sure you share the feed. Get it out there everywhere you can. I know people are sharing it on other feeds everywhere, and that's awesome, and I appreciate that. It's a great way to support the channel. We definitely are looking for growth because we are full-time doing this, and we're really wanting to keep focused on this as well and not be distracted with other things that we have to do to keep ends meeting. And the meeting of the ends is definitely, it's starting to come together. So we're thanking God that, the faith walk is paying off, and you guys are standing with us in prayer and support. And I also wanted to thank David Craig once again. Great support, brother. He's a great brother in the faith, and he's also supported us in many times gone by at crucial moments. And I do appreciate you, David, Craig. God bless you, brother. And for all of you out there, God bless. And I pray the Lord's richest blessings upon you in Jesus' name. And go with God, and he'll go with you. And make sure you're tapped into our ministries channel as well, because we do our daily broadcasts over there with scripture reading, meditation, and prayer. And definitely we get the word of the Lord. And that's the most important thing, is to hear from God in the assembly of the faithful. And those who are truly trusting him are going to be led by the Spirit. So let's keep our ears open and our hearts attuned, because God has a lot he wants to say to each one of us, especially in the times that we're living. So be faithful and trust him, and he'll do it for you. Amen. All right, guys. God bless. I love you all.